Hey, we're back. Welcome to another episode. What? Welcome to another episode of On Occasion.
I'm Chris.
I'm kidding.
And this is Austin.
And this is Austin.
Hi.
You can introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Austin Gros. The S is silent.
Dude, key.
I'm really just learning that right now, even though you've texted that multiple times.
That's a friction point in my life.
I bet.
Yeah.
So we're all three photographers, and
Yeah.
you've heard a lot from Kane and I. Hopefully you have over the past however many episodes. And so we wanted to bring on Austin because he's an extremely talented photographer based out of Nashville, but also travels maybe worldwide. We'll find out. And we want to just learn a little from him ourselves and about his start to the industry, what he likes to photograph, probably weddings.
Fun stories, life.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good time.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think like first question would be just to like orient I guess us too a little bit, is like how you got started in wedding photography. What was that journey? Because this, for you, like this podcast is for like not only couples but also like industry people as well.
Yeah.
Who watch it. So
yeah, I mean, I'd always had an interest in photography, like computer stuff. Like I remember I was like the first version of Photoshop. I'd always like play around in that, and had like digital cameras like the Canon ELPH or the Canon PowerShot, like those first like very clunky cameras. So I always had like an interest in it, but moved to Nashville, and the bar suddenly got really higher from a musician standpoint. Like I was really good at playing guitar in Houston, and then suddenly you move to Nashville, and it's like, whoa, I should probably pick up another hobby because people are awesome at music. So kind of got into photography totally as a hobby. I had been working in the music industry in Nashville for a while and kind of got to a point where it's like, well, I love photography. I love music. I need to sort of choose one, and really started pursuing photography full time. So
What year was that?
that was 2010 was like full-time photography. Okay. So I went to Belmont, studied music business, like a lot of other music business majors. I'm not in the music industry.
Right.
They don't tell that in the brochure.
yeah, they don't give you percentage statistics on
that's not in the
on who's going to
pamphlet.
graduate into this business.
But in my defense, I did work in the industry for 2 years, so check that off the list.
Nice.
But basically just like started, got like the original 5D.
Okay.
Like the 5D classic. And they call it classic. It was just like sort of shooting for my friends, shooting other photographer or just kind of bands and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then started assisting like anyone that would let me go on set with them, like weddings or a lot of commercial stuff, just to sort of figure out what like I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Any seniors I could find, like, let me take your photo. That sounds weird.
How was that though? Like I'm terrible at senior sessions. Is that something you were like, I can do this?
I quickly learned that was not my passion, because it's like there's only so many like lean on this tree that you can do. And like my senior portraits, it's like I was in a studio. There was like props. There was like a giant
fake trees.
No fake trees, but it was like a giant styrofoam. 2004. I had my leather jacket. I had a baseball bat. I had my snowboard, and I had my guitar. It's
Damn,
like,
dude.
Yeah, it's like they were like
you brought your stuff in as props.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's like
you snowboard. You're
part
gonna
of senior
today.
portraits is like, what's this young man interested in?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Let's shove it all in one photo. So just to really communicate what this guy's about. So, showing up at a park, like meeting someone to do some senior photos was just not my thing. Right. So really kind of fell into weddings because there was a photographer in town that I loved his work, reached out, and I was like, hey, could you just, if you need some help, I would love to, assist you. Mm-hmm. And started working with him. And it was great because there were weddings that were awesome for my portfolio, but he was never going to share. They didn't pass his filter.
Yeah. Was this Tech?
It was Tech.
Yeah.
Shout out Tech Pataja.
Yeah.
You both know Tech.
I've never met him.
Oh, you've never met Tech.
Somewhere along the way, I heard that you had shopped for him, but I don't know who told me that.
So kind of had some mutual friends and got to know him, and then was like, hey, if you ever need some help. And so he was super gracious in letting me use images from my portfolio.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
It was like being able to jump into like kind of a higher tier of wedding instantly.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was really helpful
because did he learn from Jose?
Jose shot his wedding.
Jose shot Tech's wedding.
Tech's wedding.
Okay.
And I think they've known each other, but Tech's just always been kind of a great photographer.
Yeah. Wow.
Really creative, and so So yeah, so I kind of like my early portfolio was like, weddings that I convinced people to do, my friends, and then it was like all these like beautiful weddings. It was like there was just like
That's
a weird,
awesome.
there was like a
Huge
weird
jump, bro.
disconnect.
Way to
Dude,
go.
that's such a
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like very cool.
So my portfolio kind of got a jump start, and not that I was pulling the wool over people's eyes, like,
Sure.
but I was able to really get the ball rolling quickly, or quicker than I would have if I had just sort of started and built my portfolio with my own work that I booked myself.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm super thankful for that.
What were some like working with him? Was he pretty hands off, like go do your thing, second shooter, or was he pretty hands on and like helping you with learning the ropes of how to approach weddings?
I mean, it was probably more hands off, yeah, and it wasn't just like don't bother me, but it was like, I mean, I was there to help and facilitate, shoot, stuff. I don't ever remember getting the reins to like go shoot something that he didn't shoot. It wasn't like you go shoot details or you go shoot the groomsmen.
Right.
I don't think I was at that point yet, and he was probably right to not like let me go do that.
Why do you think he brought you on instead of like it seems like an anomaly if you're just starting out. Like you surely had some skill level that he saw, but did he not have his own second shooters that he was like depending on already, or were you a third photographer with him?
No, I mean it was just me and him. We do local weddings, or did a wedding in Mexico, did a couple weddings out of the country. So yeah, I think because I knew him before, like I knew him before.
Gotcha.
Like we had a bunch of mutual friends, and then it was like I known him for like 6 months, and I was like, hey, by the way, I'm getting into photography, and so
You want to help a brother out?
yeah. And he also started to shoot film, and so like I knew how to load film cameras, and so that was like that was like that was I guess an asset I brought to the table.
Which, speaking of film, can you explain Film Lab? Because I'm not even sure I fully know what that was all about in your part in that.
Yeah, Film Box.
Film Box.
Sorry. So I was shooting film for years. I mean, it's funny now. Like, I don't no longer shoot film. I shoot all digital because digital has caught up to film, which is a weird thing to say. Like, back then, like if you wanted photos to look a certain way, like you needed to shoot with a film camera. The original 5D could not get images that I wanted to look like. So, and I was spending all this time editing, and it was like, well, all these guys that I look up to are shooting film. So started shooting film, and basically opened a film lab in Nashville as a way to like process my own work and my other buddies' work. We're like, we should open a lab so we don't have to spend.
That was Ryan, right?
That was Ryan Bernal, yeah. So we don't have to spend thousands of dollars sending our money to other labs.
So expensive.
And but then it kind of morphed into this like full-time job with like 5 employees. It was like,
oh my God, I didn't know. Yeah, okay.
It was supposed to be like a side hustle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this will just kind of, supplement what we do. And then it became like payroll and like, you're late. And and it's like, and it was really stressful. Like people are like, restaurants are the hardest business to open. Like try opening a film lab.
It's like 20, what year was that? Probably 2012, 2013.
That was 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so it kind of, honestly, it took away from what I was doing as a photographer. Like it was supposed to add to it, but I was just like so stressed out, like managing people and fixing equipment. Like,
Do you think it helped your brand though? Like, hey, this wedding photographer runs his own film lab.
And that's not something I really led with. Like in conversation, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm really invested in film. And then, oh, that's cool. But I never pushed myself as like, I'm a film photographer. Like some people made a big deal.
That's their shtick.
That's their shtick. It's like I shoot film and, I'm connected to the process. And I wanted people to like my work regardless of what camera that I shot. It was kind of a fun, sometimes I'd show up to weddings and they wouldn't even know. And they'd be like, oh, what's that? That's cool. Old school guy. I'm like,
yeah, you're
cool. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, whatever. But I never like made it like a hallmark point of like,
really?
It's on my website. Like I shoot film and I'm film. I mean, I certainly was very invested and passionate about it, but
it kind of surprised me because I'm not in the luxury market at this point, but I've been thinking recently, like, do I want to push for the luxury market? And we were hanging out, Kanan and I recently with Jesse and Becca of Modern Vintage Events, and they were just chatting about the price point that someone needs to charge to be in luxury as a photographer. And she was saying, and you just have to shoot film, which I do. I can shoot film and I do it at weddings occasionally, but I just would think that you'd still be shooting film.
I guess I don't see that in luxury photographers that I know. Think that there's a quality about their work that is reflective of film,
Right.
Yeah.
like aesthetically. But like, I mean, all the big photographers that I shot film with, like that are in like the super luxury market, have all abandoned the format.
Really?
Well, I mean, even Jose Villa, announced his switch to pretty much fully digital. He'll still on occasion shoot film, but the whatever film he was using, the Fuji whatever,
400H.
they stopped making it. So he had this post where he basically had a room just
A shipping container full of
stacked with film because he just went ahead and bought everything he could get his hands on.
Yeah.
And essentially he was like, when this is gone, I'm done,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I think the cameras and the presets have caught up to, I mean, a bride and a client is probably not going to be able to tell the difference.
I know.
And not that you're
They're
trying
not.
to like trick anybody,
Sure.
but like, I think the only reason for me to shoot film would be like if you were still connected to how it makes you shoot. Like it slows you down. There's a cost associated with it, how it makes you inspired. But from a purely visual standpoint, like it's pretty dang good with these presets and grain packs. And
What about as a dad? Do you shoot film? Like when I'm traveling, I only shoot film. If my family's going somewhere, I just want to shoot film.
man? I sold every piece of film thing that I own.
Really?
I even sold my light meter on eBay.
you're done. So when you say you fully switched to digital, you mean like
I don't own
completely?
You don't own
Yeah.
a film camera?
I have a Holga that sounds like a rain stick. Okay. So it's like because there's like plastic pieces and it's like
It's just,
it's
so
like that.
just so connected to that music in him.
Yeah, I'm just an artist. I'm just an artist
I'm
at
just an
heart.
artist.
So, yeah.
I do want to say one more thing. I was so sad when Film Box Lab closed down, bro. Because I was living in Atlanta, and we have some mutual friends. I don't even know why we have mutual friends. I'd like to maybe we can unearth that,
Yeah.
or like how we.
Yeah.
But I would mail my film to y'all, and you would
That's
develop it
awesome.
and process it and send it back. And now I'm like, there's the Fine Lab in Utah, and
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the one in Kentucky, but I've never landed at one where I'm like, I feel at home at this film lab.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
not since y'all.
Yeah, when we sold everything, we actually sold a lot of stuff to the Fine Lab, like a lot of our gear. And that's a hard thing. It's not like selling a coffee table on Marketplace. It's like try to find someone that wants to buy a film processor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so and I ended up keeping a film scanner at my house for a while.
Like a Noritsu or Frontier.
I had the
whatever.
Frontier.
You just
Yeah.
had that in your house.
Yeah, which is like if you ever seen one of these film
they're
scanners,
huge,
yeah,
right?
it is ugly. It runs on Windows 95.
It's like having a Xerox machine in your house.
Yeah,
it's just this massive
That's
clunking
remarkable,
thing.
exactly.
bro.
And my wife is like, our house is designed beautifully. She's a great like designer aesthetically. And then it's like you've got this piece of equipment that it's like dinosaur. And it's
That
just
and
like,
the deer head, bro.
that and the deer head. Well, the deer head had long been.
Oh, it was already gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that went to Film Box, and that ended up back in my house with the scanner. So she's like,
I think I've seen a photo of that at Film
Yeah.
Box. It was on,
yeah. So we like
obviously
went
on the wall.
backwards. It's like she got the deer head out of my house, and then it came back in the
Full
house
circle.
with a giant film scanner. So
She was probably like,
She's
son
had
of
it
a
rough, bro.
bitch.
yeah. So yeah, I had the film scanner for a while. I was sending my film off to get processed. I was scanning it myself, hiring some of our old employees to scan it for me, and then ended up selling that scanner to Indie Film Lab because they were looking for one. And again,
Gotcha.
if someone wants to buy it, you sell it.
Yeah.
And then was using them for a while. And then really that's when I kind of sort of started getting into the mirrorless stuff. And that's when I feel
Yeah.
like the digital started catching
with
up with
mirrorless,
film.
right?
But I mean, I do miss it a little bit just from the like excitement of like getting your film back, like having that, you shoot it and you don't know what it looks
I
like
know.
until
Yeah.
like
There's a
2
sense of
weeks later.
discovery to it. Yeah, for sure.
But also I didn't have that for like 5 years. Like that was the most exciting part about shooting film is like you show up to a job and you shoot it and you get it like 3 weeks later, you get it back and it's like Christmas morning.
Mm-hmm.
I lost that for a long time. It's like I would like go in after hours and process my film and like scan it myself. And it became like a chore.
Yeah.
So like film, maybe that's why I sold everything is because I have some PTSD from like the lab. It was a great season of life. I'm super thankful. Like the tools that I learned, like managing people and managing a business was great, but like I don't miss like running a film
That
lab.
process. Yeah.
And we wanted to be like a small boutique lab. And I think with the profit margin, you just have to operate on volume. Like you have to
You have to scale it up.
Yeah.
you have to scale it up. Yeah.
How many, like, what did that look like? Like, how many rolls a month or a week were y'all processing?
Not enough.
Okay.
Well, enough to like pay our employees.
Yeah.
And like, but not really pay ourselves. And it's like, what's this? You know. But it was just so stressful. It was. Most of the job was like fixing equipment, and it's like they don't make the Frontier anymore. And it's like you have to be on tech support with some dude in Pennsylvania. It's like the two people who know how to service these machines. And then it's like, you know, it's like processing film is like scary because you make someone's latte wrong. It's like, I'm sorry about that. Let me remake that for you. And it's like, oh, that's wrong again. Let me make it one more time. Oh, oat milk? I didn't know you wanted oat milk. It's like you process film, you have one chance.
That's it.
And it is automated and stuff. But like, I mean, we had like early on, we had film get stuck in the machine, and like it was funny because one of our first clients, Nathan Westerfield, was a friend of mine, and his film fell off the machine, fell off the roller and got stuck in the processor for like a long time. And then we like had to like, it was like breaking back, like pull it open, and then just like there's chemicals flying everywhere, hazmat, you know. And we ended up like salvaging it and scanning it, and he was like, dude, I don't know what you guys did. I love what you guys did. Those scans look amazing. I'm like, let's not tell him that.
Yeah.
Well, the process is a secret. We can't really share that.
Yeah, it's a family secret. So, but yeah, it was just like, it was a lot of stress and worry. And I would like wake up hearing the hearing the machines,
Bro.
like
No
hearing
thanks.
like the alarm sounds of the machines. Cause it's like when you shoot film too, it's like when you can't see what's going on, you learn how stuff sounds. Like you learn how the film advances, how your shutter sounds. Like, and so I was just so in tune to like how stuff sounds. So I would just wake up like hearing like, meh, meh, meh. Like, you know, something's wrong in the film processor. And like wake up in a cold sweat. And my wife's like, Austin, did it happen again?
Yeah, like I think you're allowed to have that kind of.
You're here. It's okay.
Yeah,
Everything's all right.
You can have that
happened
work
again.
stress if you're like a surgeon, you know. But I don't know if you need that kind of work stress waking up with cold sweats.
Yeah.
Processing film.
Yeah. So it was a good time to get to sort of sell the business or, you know, transition it out. And then kind of had like a revitalization of like what I was doing as a photographer. I was like really got kind of excited to not have that stress of managing you know, a film lab.
Yeah.
So
okay, our mutual friend's Ryan, I think.
Ryan
Bernal.
yeah.
But did he go to Liberty? Like,
Yes.
he went to Liberty with the guys.
So Ryan
But
Bernal
I'm-
knows like Michael Christmas and all those,
Got
all
it.
those give
Yeah.
us names guys.
Yeah. Give us names, man. I haven't heard that term in a long time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
TJ.
that was the name of the nonprofit. That,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
with the guys I live with,
Snake
the Snake
Nation.
Nation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Snake Nation.
Yeah, I live there.
Yeah.
You've heard stories about Snake Nation?
I have.
I mean, outside the fact our feed is called that.
Well, no, just on the podcast.
Oh, okay,
yeah. I
okay,
hadn't
okay.
heard about Snake Nation until it was revealed
Oh, really?
on the
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah, Ryan came down. I don't guess you ever visited though. You were busy.
Ryan Bernal.
Yeah.
No, he stayed with us for a week.
Well, no, I'm saying he came and visited us at Snake Nation
Snake
in
Nation.
Atlanta.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, with all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I just wanted to make that connection
Yeah.
somehow.
Good talk. Let's all right, cool. Yeah. So
Well, good to see you. No, like, so I'm curious though, because your work really still has this very, I think I described it when I was talking to you. It does feel like film. Your bokeh is like creamy and ethereal, and your edits have the softness of film. Like, how long did it take you to push that into the digital? Because there are times where I see your work and I'm like, oh man, he's still shooting film. But now I'm learning you're purely digital.
no, that's good.
So like, was that a long process for you, or as technology caught up, you were like, oh, I can figure this out pretty easy?
When I first started to be like hybrid, it was really difficult to match film and digital. Like I would shoot both and be like, let me try to match these. And I just couldn't get them to match. And so I started shooting Canon digital, and then I moved to Fuji. So I was shooting like the GFX and those medium format cameras. And that was closer, but didn't quite get it. And then it wasn't until like presets like the archetype process or Click One started popping up where I was really able to kind of nail it. And I shoot Sony now. The reason I shoot Sony it's not because I love the ergonomics of the camera. It feels like a computer to me, but it's the lenses. Like I shot Zeiss for years, and the lenses that I shoot they're all Sony Zeiss lenses.
Yeah.
So they have that.
Oh yeah.
I was like, how do I get my film set up? How do I mimic that in digital?
Okay.
And it was these lenses. So
Interesting. Yeah, I've never thought about it like that. But my favorite film camera that I have is a Rolleiflex, which is a Zeiss lens.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense.
Yeah, Sony was the only, it may be different now, but they were the only body that had an autofocus Zeiss planar lens, which is what the Contax 645,
right.
which is what I had. And so I mean, that's part of it too. Visually, I think like when I started shooting digital, it's funny, for years I was like, if I have ever to shoot digital, I don't think I'm going to shoot weddings. It's like I was just like so turned off by the fact that I would have to like spend all my time editing and like color correcting and like just using these cameras that I wasn't really connected with. So I spent a lot of time like dumbing down my camera bodies.
Interesting.
Like configuring my cameras to like be the slowest possible.
Yeah,
Because right out of the box, it's like. You can like,
oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
overshoot
like,
all the time.
Yeah, and it's like you can focus on your eye tracking and stuff, and it's like you kind of have to be like an idiot to not get something in focus.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just, for candid photos, I'll hold the photo down, my camera down here with eye tracking set, and I'll just talk to people, and they have no idea, and I'm just taking photos while they're laughing.
And that was one thing too. Like when I started shooting digital, I was like, the things that I loved about film were the misses, were like the in between moments where it's like slightly out of focus,
the unexpected,
or it was at 30. The shutter speed was super slow, so you got some motion blur. It's like auto ISO, like it's like you can crank, like nothing has to be blurry anymore,
right?
So you kind of have to like force yourself to like make stuff,
which is kind of comical since that's like currently that's the trend.
Yeah,
to make stuff blurry, like
shaking your camera.
There's a funny video going around on the internet right now where it's like it's for wedding photographers at the reception trying to create motion blur. It's just a bunch of split shots of photographers on the dance floor going,
yeah.
That's right.
And like jumping around. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I look like when I'm trying to create this crap on the dance floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think I tried to like bring in, because for so long, it's like every time I would take a picture, there was a cost.
Right.
So like you have to like, when you
yeah.
shoot film, it's like, unless you're blowing it out of the water, like it's like $2, $3, $4 a photo.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't just overshoot. It's like, and you can't take 15 photos of the cake. You take a close up and a far away.
Yeah.
And you're good.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's like, it was difficult early on to like shoot digital and then go in there, and it's just like, it's like all of a sudden I have 30 photos that I'm going to delete 28 of them anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you do now to avoid that? Or do you just overshoot and that's how it is?
So I don't do half shutter. What is that called? Where you half press focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I still back focus. I still use manual focus sometimes.
Interesting.
I don't have the screen. I don't use at all. I don't have the LCD.
You stay strictly viewfinder.
Strictly viewfinder.
Wait. Hold on. You said you use back button focus, and then what was the next thing you said?
I'll still manually focus stuff too.
Really? Why?
Just because I don't know. It just
feels right.
It feels right.
Like
and
what? Like a detail stuff?
Like details or rings, or like making sure like stuff is super tack sharp. And I don't know. Like I mean, with the Contax, I was manually focusing for like 6 years. I didn't have autofocus.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Contax just that was my main camera. It has autofocus.
It has autofocus, right?
But I mean, just because it has it doesn't mean it's like, like useful,
reliable.
Sure.
That's what because I just use TLRs, like the twin lens reflex, but those are all they're so slow. That's the downside.
And they're it's reversed.
Yeah,
too.
everything's
so
backwards.
It's like,
right.
it's weird. So yeah, and then shooting with smaller memory cards. So like then I'll have to change them out more, and I don't really want to change them out more. I don't know if that's Also, I'm just kind of used to like changing film magazines and like not having all my images on one memory card. Maybe that's a practice that other people do. I don't know.
So if you have, let's say you do a 10-hour day, it's you and a second photographer, but who cares about the second photographer? Just
who cares?
Well, I care, but how many photos are you coming home with right now?
I mean, it kind of depends on the event, obviously. So it's like if I'm shooting a rehearsal dinner, if there's more details. I mean, I'm delivering like under 1,000 usually.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still overshooting, but not to the extent that I probably could be.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't really have a number. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Kanan and I, and we had a third photographer. We just shot a wedding in Hilton Head and came back with. I did do the rehearsal, but I think I came back with 12,000 photos.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dang it, dude! How did that happen?
No, I mean,
We overshot the shit out of it.
no, I mean, I'm not even. I would probably say 3, maybe,
On your camera?
like combined.
Oh,
everything.
with your second photographer.
I would think. Yeah.
Man, that's
I'll have to look.
Dude, 3,000 weddings. I could edit that, and I mean, so fast.
But I don't want to deliver that many.
No, I know, but
photos.
like calling and
Oh,
editing.
yeah. Gotcha.
But I mean, calling 12,000 photos, it takes multiple calls.
Yeah.
You know, even using Photo Mechanic. But
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's like in my head, it's like if I shoot less, there's less to call.
For sure.
And I mean, I was, shooting film. It's like you would show up to weddings, you'd fly places, getting paid lots of money, take photos that you wouldn't see for 3 weeks later, that nobody would, it's like, and that's one thing I do kind of miss is, it was kind of exciting, like kind of that gangster, like showing up and it's like, nobody knows what any of these photos look like. I mean, I knew what they looked like in my brain, but there was kind of like a level of like, this guy's a badass. 'Cause like he's shooting film.
yeah. You don't think people still want to pay for that in the luxury market? Like they don't want to pay for the image of a photographer shooting film at their wedding?
I'm sure they do. I mean, I know luxury photographers who still shoot film because of that. Because it's like, yeah, it's premium and not, obviously there's less people that know how to shoot film than know how to shoot digital. At least in my experience of the luxury photographers that I know, that's not exactly a selling point. Also, you've got like multi-day events where photographers are posting sneak peeks like instantly.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do that with shooting film. Or you're shooting high-end, like celebrities or clientele where it's like they want a quick turnaround on the photos. It's like they're not going to wait like 3 weeks for.
That's right. That makes sense.
But yeah, I'm sure people still want to pay for it. When people ask me that question, I mean, my response is always like, I want people to be connected with my work, not with the medium.
Yeah.
And, you need to like me as a person, you need to like my work, regardless of like, I don't want film to like be a selling point. It's like, oh, we like it because you shoot film. So, anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's cool. I mean, I feel like obviously you shot film for so long, you're going to take that process and approach into even shooting digital, which I mean, you already mentioned like, you even will still shoot manual sometimes. Do you have, when you're approaching like the formal sessions or like the day in general, do you kind of plan out or envision ahead of time your formals, or is there still a process of spontaneity for you? And I say that coming from the film world where you have to like, you're planning your shots. I would imagine pretty consistently because you're of the limitations of film and amount of shots you have, et cetera. So is there that, how does that process look like for you?
I mean, with film, honestly, the funny thing is that there's so much latitude with that where you could kind of go into some gnarly lighting situations and actually come out better than digital, which is weird.
Like if you just overexpose.
If you overexpose.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think my approach is still kind of similar in that, I mean, I'm still trying. It's still about finding the best light and the best locations. It's never like, oh, well, I have, with film, I have this many photos to take. Let me only use one location versus 2 locations. Right. I still try to like, approach the day the same way. But with film, there wasn't. I don't think there was as much of prep as you probably would think. As far as like picking locations and stuff, because if something's beautiful, you're gonna shoot more film,
right?
Like it's not gonna be like, you know what,
right? Yeah,
that amazing sunset, and I'm
wish we had more film.
I'm all out of film,
especially when you can envision how it's gonna expose on the film. Like it's just I'm gonna overshoot that too. But
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, some of these cameras is like the dynamic range is so great. Like you can do very similar things. But yeah.
Can we move us forward a little bit?
Yeah, move us forward.
No, this has been. I feel like I just want. I have like
this was
forgotten
like
about the audience
this was a
altogether.
true like
and
photographer
I just wanna
nerding
talk,
out moment talking about film and digital.
The Canon 5D Mark II, shutter speed.
I should move from the classic to Mark
still
II.
manually focused.
We haven't talked about ISO yet. Are we going to dive into?
Yeah, later. We'll get there.
I mean, do you use aperture priority or do you shoot in manual,
bro?
I was going to ask, what do you care about right now at weddings? Like you've transitioned out of film, you're shooting all digital. What are you enjoying about weddings right now?
Especially shooting this long.
Yeah,
like having started in 2010.
Yeah, I don't know if I know anyone who's been full-time that long. I went full-time in 2014. You went maybe like, what, 2013? So like, where are you now? What are you hoping for your business?
Yeah, I mean, I love people, and I love being around people, and and I think that's why I kind of gravitated towards weddings. It's like, I mean, actually for years, I assisted in a staff photographer on Southern Living who was shooting interiors. And it was cool, but it was just not my thing. It's like spending 6 hours in a kitchen, like moving, like, karate chopping pillows, on like a couch. It's like, and it's like, I just, that wasn't my thing. Or like even shooting food or architecture. Like, I just love people. I love the way the day flows. I love seeing like the progression of the day and just like all the range of emotions of like, you guys know, it's like you get all this stuff on a wedding day. And just like, a wedding day, arguably up to this point for a lot of people, is like the most important day. So it's like there's something that's like awesome about being the one responsible for documenting that. It used to scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I was like, it is, and that's terrifying. That's like
it used to scare me so much, but it's like, I've been in probably every scenario possible as far as weather and gear malfunctions and, relationship drama. And, so it's like, I don't really get freaked out about it. But I just love love being around people and, I don't know. I don't know if that really answers
What's
your
a good story about one of the things you just mentioned, either relationship drama or gear malfunctioning or weather or like a memorable moment?
So, my first wedding. So I'd quit my music industry job 2 weeks before, and I was like, I'd been shooting weddings up to that point, but kind of like on the weekend, like 2 full-time jobs. So it's not like I left my job and it's like, I should get a portfolio. It's like I had a portfolio, but it was like I did it in a strategic way,
right,
where it wasn't like, okay, now I'm gonna I'm gonna quit my other job. I had 2 full-time jobs. So,
and you didn't have a family at that point, right?
No.
I'm sorry for interjecting here, but sometimes you sound a little like John Mulaney. Did you hear that?
He's hilarious.
Do you ever get John Mulaney?
No,
I should get a portfolio.
I can see it.
No, I get Ray Romano.
No way.
Yeah, I hear
Deborah!
that
Which is funny because he's hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah.
So
one of the most successful sitcoms.
And in the show Parenthood, if you guys ever watch Parenthood, he plays a crotchety, jaded photographer.
Oh, really?
Like late in his career.
Is this adjectives you would use for yourself?
No.
Okay, all right.
Not at this point.
What I think
You're not late in your career.
No.
Ray's actually my spirit animal, really. So
no, I'll have to send you guys. It is funny. There's one episode. He's this like artistic photographer who's having trouble making money, and then like he goes and shoots a wedding just because he's like, I need to make some money. And he's at the reception, just like, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, just like talking crap about the, everything.
Sure we all
like,
know
I can't believe I'm stooping down to that level. But no, when most people are like, people say I look like, Brad Pitt or, Ryan Gosling, they're like, you look a lot like Ray Romano. It's like,
thank you.
Is that the closest? I've also gotten, not with this haircut, but Dimitri Martin, who's a comedian.
Dude.
There's a Dimitri Martin moment.
Yeah, I get a little bit I can see the Ray a little bit, but your tonal inflections and Dimitri Martin's comedic approach, his like deadpan, I can see that a little bit. Yeah.
And then, and then there was one person that told me I look like Chase Elliott, which I think is he's a NASCAR driver.
Oh, well, that's not a
He's
bad
like,
one.
oh man, Chase Elliott. I'm like, every time I saw him, he'd call me Chase Elliott.
Dude, you should have signed something.
Yeah, I should have.
Like, signed his chest or something.
I need to get one of those like NASCAR jackets with all like, it's like
all the sponsorships.
AG1 greens.
I think AG1.
AG1 is definitely sponsoring NASCAR.
You'll be the driver.
Sure. Yeah. What was the question?
Stories. Just
story. Okay. So my first wedding, full time, it was in 2010, and I was so excited. I was like, this is the world of freelance. I'm self-employed photographer. I'd left my, 401k music biz, salary job, whatever. And and it was the day of the Nashville flood, which I don't know if you guys had lived.
I was here.
I wasn't here, but I was seen the photos.
Yep.
So it was a wedding out. It would have been the best wedding
on that day.
So it would have been the best wedding that I'd ever photographed at that point, like portfolio wise. So I show up. and it's raining. It's this beautiful property out in West Nashville, which got hit the hardest from the floods, like Kingston Springs. And so it's raining, and the bride's obviously sad because she wants, outside photos. And and I hadn't developed like you guys know, it's like your job is like, even if the whole building's on fire, you're like, it's cool,
We're
man.
fine.
You're good.
We're gonna get some great stuff today.
Yeah. That's right. I hadn't
tent has blown away.
developed that confidence yet. And she was like, I was like, yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, we'll make it work. It's like, so like it's raining. She's getting ready in hair and makeup. And so like 30 minutes after getting there, there's like water coming under the baseboards. We're like,
What?
No way, dog.
we're like, I don't think water should be there. Like, that's not where it should be.
Is this like it's a wedding venue?
It was like a private property barn, like beautiful, like a upscale, like super nice
barn
like,
dominium.
There'd never been horses in it. But so then it's like, so then basically, long story short, within 45 minutes, there was knee-high water in the venue. Like they evacuated the whole thing. I had to like drive my car up higher, come back, get my gear, trudging through water. The bride has her dress in a bag over her head.
Oh my God.
They're evacuating the building. And so they moved it to another spot on the property, another barn, not as cool of a barn. Obviously, it kept raining. That started flooding. So then they moved it to this like country club that was close by. And so,
Dude,
like, I'm in like, I'm in the locker room. The groom is in his underwear with his suit under a hand dryer. Like,
oh man.
and like their whole beautiful designer wedding was just like, they had to go from that to like, let's just get married at basically just a room that's dry. And, but they got married and it was like,
Did their guests, like how many guests made it?
Quite a few, more than you would think. And they got really drunk and partied and got married. And I mean, it's kind of awesome because I feel like a lot of people have been like, you know what?
They would have bailed.
Yeah, it's time to bail. But yeah, so that was probably one of the more intense moments of.
Yeah.
So people are like, well, tell me a story. You kind of got out, like a dicey situation that you sort of escaped from as a photographer. I'm like, that's really it.
You survived the Nashville flood.
I survived the
That's
Nashville
amazing.
flood.
during
Yeah,
an actual wedding.
Yeah, that was
which is pretty crazy because West Nashville, I mean, it was like literally just main roads just gone.
Yeah.
Like my question is, how did you get home? Because at that point in the night, like everyone was pretty sure at that point, oh, this is a big deal, whatever's happening right now.
Yeah, I don't really remember that. I think I was just so like probably glad that I survived
Stressing.
it. Yeah. But the crazy story, so they went back, later in the day they went back to the venue in kayaks to get stuff that they had left.
Dude.
So they shut the power off, went back like getting stuff, and they rented a bunch of like antique, like vintage church pews, like all these beautiful old church pews. And I guess nobody thought to close the doors. And so they went back like a couple days later, and it's like, where are the pews that we rented? And apparently they were strewn like miles through farmland, all in West Nashville.
No way.
Gosh.
So, but yeah.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, that was like weather-wise, that was probably the most intense. I mean, I've had like, I've been yelled at by family members, and I've seen cousins get in fist fight. That has nothing to do with me. The cousins getting in fist fights.
I'm trying to imagine a scenario where you're instigating these two cousins who already have family drama.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys don't seem to get along. You should probably fight about it.
Yeah. Did you hear what he just said about you? Did you hear what he just said about you? Guys, let him fight. Let him fight. Let him fight. No, let him fight.
Austin on a wedding day is just instigating drama the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes your stepdad.
How many problems can I create?
Yeah.
That's my mode.
I have very similar when people want to know, because people are always asking me. They're always asking me, Chris, what's a memorable wedding for you?
Are they?
No one's asking. But I shot a wedding once in Virginia, and it was like an antebellum house on a hill, whatever. It was actually right outside of Liberty, but or Lynchburg, whatever that town is.
Yeah, Lynchburg.
But it was a beautiful wedding all day, but then it flooded during the reception, which they had under a big white tent. And it was pouring rain. The band kept playing, and at some point, the bride and groom decided, like the grass just started becoming mush. So at some point, with enough dancing, it just became a mud pit. and the bride and groom were cattle ranchers. So like they were so used to being dirty, they didn't give a shit. So they just started running and diving in the mud. And then all the bridal parties running and diving in the mud. I broke a camera because I was like, I wish I could go back and redo this, but I was using a 24 prime.
Yeah.
So I was like right in the action, dude. So
Yeah.
there's just mud coming up on me and the camera and just obliterated.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, that's one of those things too. It's where, like people want like it's hard to communicate like that level of like so much of being a photographer is like problem solving. Like you guys know. Like obviously like your portfolio is important, but like so much of the day is like figuring stuff out and like fixing things and like
managing emotions and relationships and calming the mother of the bride down and like fist bumping I feel like, yeah, I agree. I feel like most of my work on a good wedding day, if I have like a really solid second shooter, I capture the main stuff and then I kind of rely a lot on my second shooter to capture a lot because I'm managing personalities and
You are
the
man.
social
That's really
aspect
how
so
you
much.
shoot.
Yeah.
I'm like networking. I'm basically selling. I'm basically booking the next wedding on the wedding day.
Yeah.
But just by like being that
You
person.
don't even mean to do that. It's just who you are.
No, it's not a strategy. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah.
Just who you are.
It's just who I
In your
am.
DNA,
man.
man.
It's
Yeah, where
built
are
into
you
me.
with that? Like we're very different. Whereas Kanan is very personable at weddings and wants to chat. And if I'm talking to someone at a wedding, it's only because I'm trying to create some photo. Like I want to loosen them up or something. But when I'm shooting, I'm in this tunnel and I can't come out until the day's over.
And if you do, his day's ruined.
I don't want to come out of it. I can't. Like sometimes I'll shoot
Interesting.
friends' weddings and they end up being good photos because they're already really comfortable with me. But they're very challenging because I start seeing all these friends like guests at the reception that I want to talk to. But I'm like, I can't talk to you because I can only be in one mode.
No, I definitely probably skew more to like you, where it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm shooting, but like getting to know people and making people feel comfortable and like, become at the end of the day, like becoming, these people's really good friends.
Yeah.
And because you're spending a lot of time with them. Getting your photo taken is uncomfortable. And so it's like, to the extent that I can make people feel comfortable and, end of the day, it's like, man, that photographer was awesome. Like we had a great time. Like,
Yeah, like I kind of like judge the end of the day based on how many like hugs and fist bumps and hey, you guys are fantastic, man. We appreciate you guys so much. You made us feel so good, so comfortable, blah blah.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like, okay, we had a good day. If like the bridal party is coming up to us afterwards and being like, I loved that.
yeah.
Then I'm like, solid. Good
Yeah.
job.
No, I definitely lean more in that direction for sure.
Whereas like Chris is like, if the bridal party is like, that guy was weird, but his photos were amazing.
No one is saying that about me. I think people love me at weddings.
I'm an artist.
I'm not talking to people unless I'm trying to create something.
For sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love being around people. Like, I mean, I just love, talking to the grandparents or, everybody. I just,
You ever had a crazy situation with
I
a
love the
grandparent?
I
at a
love,
wedding?
I love talking to grandmas. So,
Yeah, because I've got a story about a grandma that's not good.
Okay.
That's a bit violating. I'm curious, do you have any crazy stories with grandparents?
with grandparents?
Yeah, where you're like, oh God, that shouldn't have happened.
No, I mean like falling, but that's like
Like you knocked a
no,
grandmother over?
Why you put Jesus, dude, pushing people dead?
yeah,
In my photo.
yeah. Everyone talks about the Uncle Bob with the camera. It's like grandma,
Yeah,
just
Grandma
like-
Sally.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, it's like I don't care if you're 90 years old, you're ruining my shot. So it's like I don't care if you survived the Great Depression.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some portraits of
You ain't surviving this wedding day. You get in
Yeah.
my way again. No, I had a grandma on the dance floor one time. Have I told this story on the podcast?
You
yet?
haven't.
Okay. So I had a grandmother on the dance floor. I'm shooting photos, having a good time at the reception.
Little shoulder shake.
I'm wearing my straps for my cameras. All of a sudden, she's like dancing at me. It's like you make eye contact, and all of a sudden they're dancing at you. You're kind of like, oh, okay, we'll do this
yeah.
little move for a minute. Yep. And then I get close enough to her that all of a sudden she grabs my camera straps and she goes, "You're so cute!" And she pulls me in, sticks her tongue out. Like with the old folk thing where the tongue kind of comes out
Yeah.
when it shouldn't.
That's old school.
Yeah. And she just
I guess.
That's how they used to. That's how they used to do it.
and she just like French kisses me. And I'm going, "Oh, oh, oh." And I
Like where there was contact?
Yes, she pulled me in, and because I didn't know what was happening, I was like, "Oh, okay, she's goofing around with me." French kisses me.
Wow, straight for the
I
tongue.
pull away and I go, "Oh, I need an adult." And
Which is that's
which as a grown man,
I love that was your
that's
first
just what
reaction,
came out
bro.
of me.
yeah.
And there's a groomsman. This is like such like a Billy Madison moment where like the groomsman is standing next, sees it. He's like holding 2 drinks and he goes, oh no, that should, and he goes, Grandma kissed the photographer. Grandma's kissing the photographer.
Get in line.
Somebody come get grandma.
And I go, oh no. And I just do this move.
Yeah.
Further into the dance floor.
Yeah,
and,
like,
oh,
and
dance
disappear.
We've all done that just to get out.
And
yeah.
I'm like wiping my mouth, and I don't think I've ever actually told my wife.
And
this
that's
story,
why you
so
carry mints to every wedding
That's
now.
why I carry mints
You
to
always
every
carry
wedding.
mints.
Yeah, I'm kind of But that's my worst
You told your wife.
grandparent moment. Is
I don't have anything
I
close
had a
to that.
grandma French kiss me on the dance floor, and I wish I could remember what song was playing. I think that would make the moment more epic if there was like something really iconic playing. Yeah. But I don't. But that's just what happened. But I did scream, "I need an adult," and the only person who saw it was that one drunk groomsman. That's the only witness to the entire
But you
thing.
had a witness.
I'm thankful that he was there.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah.
Because
Because otherwise it's my
They'd be
word
like-
against hers.
Yeah.
You know, like she could be like, he French kissed me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, lady.
Yeah. Hey, we love the photos.
Maybe.
Like the moments you capture are beautiful. By the way, I heard that you French kissed my grandma.
I heard you were trying to make out with my grandma. I was like, well,
Yeah.
she kissed
Have
me
you seen
first.
her?
Yeah. She initiated.
Yeah, she
Did you pull away? Well, I mean,
She had my straps.
Yeah,
So
I
I
mean-
just sort of leaned into it out of
you
courtesy.
leaned in to kissing my grandma? Yeah.
As a professional courtesy, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Right.
My only grandparent story was that wedding in San Francisco.
oh my God, dude.
So I don't know, it was 2017 or 18. We shot a wedding just north of San Francisco, and the day of, we went to a few wineries. Kanan and I did, and
Drank too much wine.
I drank too much wine. I'll just admit that. And we ended up going to In-N-Out. I tried to clean up a little bit there, but the bride put us up on this Airbnb with with this guy named Michael, who was grandma's friend.
Okay.
Quote
So-
unquote.
Friend.
Yes. And so we're hanging out that evening with Michael, and we're having a couple drinks, and anyways, he's telling us his life story about being like a DJ on the radio, yada yada. And it's getting a little late, and at some point I just go, Michael, why don't you just level with us? Tell me, what does it mean to be grandma's friend? And right then Kenny goes, "That's it, you're going to bed." And Kanan just put me to bed.
Because if you were sober enough to see Michael's face, Michael was not happy about the question. This is this is an old
But everybody
man.
was calling him grandma's friend. I just want to cut to the
it
chase.
just-
Let's just
He just goes, level with me.
boyfriend.
What's this
life
really
partner?
mean to be
Yeah, let's just be
grandma's
honest
friend?
about it.
And Michael just kind of looked at him, and I was like, okay, well, we should probably go to
You're
bed.
staying at the same Airbnb?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're roommate. At this point, you're roommates. I feel like that question. You're
I
allowed
love
to ask
that,
that question.
I love that
Thank you,
Austin's
Austin.
backing you on
Yeah,
this.
no,
Like,
I mean,
it's,
if you just pulled someone up at a reception, they're like trying to get a shrimp cocktail, and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, what does it mean to be grandma's friend? Like, that's inappropriate. But if you're sleeping and showering at the same
Right. Is
structure,
grandma coming over here tonight or not?
I
I
just
just
now
want to know.
that's a fair question, because then...
should we leave the light on for grandma?
Right. Should we? Are we leaving the door unlocked for a little late night visit, or what are we doing here? Which, I mean, we didn't at the wedding reception. They answered that question.
Yeah,
very
we know.
obviously. You were kind of like, oh, that's a lot of affection in a public space.
Grandma's friend.
For grandma's friend.
I've been waiting for the day we could talk about grandparents on this podcast, and we finally got there.
I wish I had a better story other than pushing down grandma.
No, that's
Well,
a good
I
one.
think it probably I think it has to speak to the difference in the level of weddings for shooting, really. Because like, you probably just have much more reasonable people at your weddings. Whereas like I've got she may have been on
French kissing
cocaine.
grandma, and you've got grandma's friend.
Yeah.
And I just have normal grandma.
Yeah, you just got like sweet,
Just sweet matriarch of the
Genteel.
family.
Baked a pie, brought it to the wedding.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
She's probably like a little racist, but we forgive it because she's sweet grandma. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Diet racist.
Diet racist.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got here? You shoot weddings. We shoot weddings.
I mean, I felt.
oh yeah, we talk about hopes though. Like, where do you see your business going now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like for a long time, I was really pushing the like, I want to be top of the game, like shooting, Bahamas and destination all the time. And like, really like that was a driving force for me, like just nicer weddings, but honestly, ever since having kids, it's like my desire to travel and like do that has been sort of reduced immensely. Like I still love to travel. I still travel for probably half my weddings, but it's not this like driving motivation where it's like, I want to be out of town. Like I was in New York City last week and it was fun, but like I loved getting home and seeing my kids. And it's like,
how many kids do you have?
I have 4.
You both have 4 kids.
I've got 4 too.
8, 6, 4, and almost 1.
10, 9, 7, 5.
Yeah.
1.
So,
Yeah, you got 1 who's 1.
yeah.
But I feel that now that
Yeah.
getting married slowed me down a little, and now having a kid, I'm like, dude, if I can wake up on a Saturday, shoot a wedding, and go to bed at home, that's such a great day.
And just see my cactus. Oh, you don't have the cactus.
Well, cactus never
actually,
showed
I
up.
did get a bunch of cactus, but now with the baby, they're all
Cacti.
gone. They're all gone. Yeah, cacti. Thank you for correcting me. Excuse me, Chris.
Sorry.
Plural of cactus.
Not only did you
Let
not
the
get
record
the
show.
cactus, but you mispronounced cactus.
Yeah.
So is that challenging for you? Because of the market you're in, you're saying 50% of your clients are out of town. Are you trying to do new marketing or anything to try to book more Nashville? Or
No, I mean, I'm doing, I'm not going to turn down a wedding because it's travel, but, yeah, I mean, it's, traveling is not as sexy as people make it seem.
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
you go on Instagram and it's like, oh, we're in this place, but it's like you forgot that it was Memorial Day weekend and TSA line was super long, and then you
Did you don't have pre-check?
no.
Bro. You travel.
Should I?
Yeah, you should have pre-check number 1 because you
I'm
need
just
to
a
have
man
club,
I'm a man of the people.
and you need to have a club access.
So no, that
Through
just
a credit
seems,
card, just a business credit card that gets you club access.
Yeah, I have that, but I don't have club access. Where's the Southwest Chase Club?
Oh, he's the
Well,
Southwest
I
guy.
missed that
Southwest
one.
doesn't
I don't
have
know,
clubs.
but Chase has clubs all over the place. The Priority Lounge. But anyway, sorry. I interrupted. I was just sad for you because you don't need to be waiting in lines, bro.
You know what? I'm just a man of the people. It's like I'm gonna go through TSA just like the rest of you guys.
Don't business shame his lack of
You know,
lounge access.
I'm not even gonna check in. I'm gonna get C just to show you guys.
I don't mind sitting by the bathroom on the plane.
Well, the only issue is my camera bag. I need a little bit higher than C to like get
Yeah,
that camera
you wanna
bag
keep
in
that
the
safe.
overhead bin because. Where are we going with this?
Just Nashville weddings versus traveling.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn down a wedding, but yeah, I mean, I love being at home and yeah. So
At this point for you, like having been in the business this long, where are most of your clients coming from? Do you feel like are brides just familiar with your work via referral, online, planners? Like, how's that look for you now?
I mean, early on in my career, it was like blogs. It's like wedding blogs. Like that was
That you were publishing yourself or being published?
I mean, I was submitting to these blogs,
Okay.
but it's like Once Wed and Style Me Pretty, and I don't even know if these. I honestly don't even know if these exist
Yes,
anymore.
some don't.
But I would say now most of it's coming from wedding planners, which is a great place for them to come from because
100%.
they trust you. They can sort of go to bat for you and say, here's why you should hire this guy.
Mm-hmm.
They vet your pricing. So it's not like the conversation is usually not around how much you cost. It's like, let's get to know each other. And if you like me as a person, we already know that the planner has pre-qualified you pricing wise. So, I mean, and yeah, stuff pops up from like, we saw you on Instagram or you shot my sister's wedding or I was a groomsman at this wedding and whatever.
Dude,
but
if you get a wedding because of a guy that was a groomsman in another wedding, that's a whole nother level.
yeah,
bro.
I may have made that one up.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
yeah,
It's still an option. It's still possible.
I'm not,
It's still possible.
I'm not taking it off the table. Yeah, I just really make an impact on all the groomsmen that I photograph.
You really vibe with the dudes.
Yeah, I really vibe with the dudes. Honestly, a lot of the dudes like me because I am very efficient. And so, you guys know, guys don't like taking photos.
Yep.
It's like, they're like, that's it? We're done?
Yeah. Same.
Cool. We can go back and watch football and drink beer. It's like, yes, you can. But no, I mean, at this point, yeah, I'd say most of my quality referrals are coming from planners. And yeah, that's I'm really happy with that.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I think like I shot a wedding this past weekend and I didn't know the planner or they didn't find me on I think they found me on Instagram, but her grandparents live near Lebanon. So maybe that's it. So maybe that's my grandma's
It was a
story.
geolocation.
Yeah.
Nice.
The wedding was in Lebanon?
No, the wedding was in New York City.
Oh, that was in New York.
But her grandparents live outside of Lebanon. So maybe grandma went to bat for me.
Yeah, my
Was like,
wife.
you should hire this photographer because he's from Lebanon too.
My wife's grandparents live in Lebanon, but I guess it's not the same grandparents.
Yeah.
Might be.
Could be.
Yeah.
So then how did that wedding come about though? Like how did you
Yeah,
book that
right.
wedding?
How did that?
This one?
Yeah. The New York one?
I think they found me on Instagram.
Okay, they
Oh,
just
it's
found
just
it on
it just
Instagram.
so
Gotcha,
happens.
Just so
that
happened that
you live
their
in the
parents-
same
their grandparents
town.
their grandparents, yeah. So, anyways, but yeah.
You're like, I like that quaint Southern genteel life
Yeah,
like your
so-
grandparents do.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm really doing all my ads towards grandmas.
Yeah.
So like all my SEO
That's
is
pretty
going
nice.
towards grandmas.
Dude, what's
That's pretty hot.
What is the statistic about our podcast that like 50% of our podcast, 50% of viewers of this podcast are 60 years or older?
Chris
That's what
sent
we've
this
learned.
data screenshot the other day. It's from like Spotify or Apple or something, and it's like 60 plus years old. It's on the
Yeah.
digital platform.
Dude, so you're gonna crush after being on this podcast.
Yeah, dude,
I can't
bro.
wait.
You're gonna book so much shit. It's gonna be you can't. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to afford so much quality cocaine if that's what you want to do.
Is there? Well, first of all, you should definitely share your links, like where people can find you online.
Yeah, austingrow.com. And again, the S is silent.
Where's the S at if it's silent?
It's French.
No, I'm saying in the spelling.
Oh,
where are they gonna place the S? And
well, it's GROS.
there we go.
Oh,
.com.
You're thinking it was at the beginning of the. It's at the beginning of my last name, but
S-A-U.
it's a silent S.
I
At
was
the,
trying to be helpful. I didn't know I sounded like an idiot.
yeah,
God.
it's a silent S, but it's the first letter of my last
And
name.
it is French because now your parents are still in NOLA.
My parents are in Louisiana.
Are in
All my
Louisiana,
family's
outside
from
of NOLA.
Louisiana. Yeah, and
Oh.
so Gros is French for large or fat.
Okay.
So like
I see it.
Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. Gras is the feminine of Gros, which is large. Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. Austin Gros, Fat Austin. So that's how you remember it.
Well, you need to stop running these ultra marathons if you're.
Yeah, that's something we haven't touched on that I would like to touch on for a minute.
Okay,
Because
let's do it.
have you always been this guy, like the running guy? Like
This
this has
guy?
been like a passion of yours.
I've always
like-
had this.
right. I mean, because obviously,
you
like
can't see all of
so
it.
how old are you?
I just turned 38.
See, you're 38, and you look great for being
You look
38.
at least no more than 37.
so
Stop.
you know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
stop.
I mean, we took our shirts off to change, but we really should have done like a Burt Kaiser situation and just gone shirtless on the situation.
Oh, you mean just shirtless for the whole episode?
Yeah, for the whole
I would
episode.
love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we at?
I don't know where.
No,
we're
that
at.
was the question.
you-
I am curious, like, when have you, outside of photography and music, obviously, what are like, was running a new thing?
Yeah, I didn't really get into running until actually our second daughter was born. I work from home. My wife works from home. We homeschool our kids. It's like we're home all the time. So
Yeah.
running was kind of one of those things where it's like, daddy's time. And we were at the
Like
time we were
the
living in
moment.
like 1,000 square foot house. So
Yeah.
like, if you want daddy's time, daddy's time just sounds. Especially how I said it into
That
the
sounds
mic.
pretty.
Daddy's time.
I'm excited
Yeah.
and nervous at the same time.
Yeah.
I just feel a little
Yeah.
confused.
There was no daddy's time. I've said daddy's time like 10 times.
How many times?
Personal time for
I
myself.
can't wait for this Instagram clip. We're
Yeah.
just gonna cut Daddy's time
Daddy's
so many
time.
times.
Daddy's time. No, it was kind of a way to get out of the house, clear my mind, and just go for a run. And so that kind of morphed. That kind of started with just like running around my neighborhood, and like a lot of things that I get into, it starts sort of casual, and then like there's just nuance and levels of. It's like start running. All you need is a pair of shoes,
Right,
And it's like
right.
great. Well, now let me get some nicer shorts and a shirt because I'm running, and let me get a cool running hat. And I need a water bottle because like I'm going for longer runs.
Right.
And well, now I need a headlamp because I'm starting running in the morning before my kids wake up. And well, now I need like a pack because I'm now running longer where I need to hold 2 water bottles and some food. And or now it's like now I'm to the point where it's like now I need a satellite communicator and a water filter because I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I
When
can't.
do you just buy a dirt bike? You know,
Uh,
you're just doing these long distances.
Yeah, I guess. Some people are like, I don't even like to walk that. I don't even like to drive that far. You running that far?
I don't like to drive that far.
Yeah.
Well, so how far are you running?
I mean, I'm not like going for like a 70-mile run every day.
But you do 70-mile runs.
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't done 100. Like 100.
Yeah.
100's the new marathon. But I mean, I've done like a bunch of 100K stuff, which is 70 miles. The stuff that I love trail running. I love being in the mountains. And the stuff that I've kind of got into lately is like ultra light. They call it fast packing. So like ultra light backpacking. So like everything on your back, super light kit, and then going like 2-3 days at a time, like doing like big mountain stuff.
2 or 3 days. What do you mean?
Backcountry.
Like backcountry running.
Yeah.
So like doing like 30 miles a day.
And then just
And
camping overnight.
Yeah, camping
waking up.
overnight, sleeping. Yeah.
Where are you sleeping in?
I have
you're
like
not carrying a tent.
basically a plastic. It's basically a plastic coffin. So
Yeah.
it's ultralight tent.
God, that is not. The running part sounds fun, but the multiple days and having to carry all that equipment, that's not.
But
fun.
that's the part that like I love is like, I mean, my life is, I'm so blessed and thankful. It's very comfortable. So like. You have to purposely seek out these adventures. And like there's something exciting about like going out to the Smokies with literally a backpack and a water filter and food. And it's like, cool, I'll see you in 3 days. And it's like, you kind of have to like problem solve and like, you know,
You're building in your own challenges.
Yeah,
your own
exactly.
adversity.
yeah. And it's a lot like shooting weddings. It's like you're on your feet, you're eating while you're moving, you're problem solving, you're running into grandma, knocking her off the trail. But the running thing has been, it's been a great source of joy and just, getting out. And I mean, with a busy life of 4 kids and all this stuff, it's like just getting out in nature and really disconnecting. And people are like, well, what do you listen to while what kind of podcasts you like?
That's an
It's
interesting question. I didn't think about that.
Nothing.
I was gonna. That would be my
Nothing. Yeah.
That's like is it like a mental unplug in that
Totally.
sense, where you're just like, this is gonna be a pure space in terms of nothing, unfiltered everything. Like,
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I mean, there's so much input in my life and my house, which is great. It's like, but you have kids, you guys have kids. It's like, it's loud and kids and, there's so much stuff and so much noise just living life, like Instagram and everything. It's like, and I'm going somewhere where it's like my phone barely works and it's like, it's quiet. There's nobody else. And so that's kind of what I've really sort of connected with is just like, when else are you going to be in a place? It's hard to find silence in 2024.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta go to the Smokies.
That's a great way to put it.
Smokies.
It's hard to find
Gotta
silence.
go poop in the
I like
woods.
that. Yeah. Are you upset? Like you already kind of mentioned when you were explaining. Are you like a gear person, and then kind of like a scaled obsessive with other things, or has running been unique in that sense?
Repeat.
So like, basically you were talking about how like, it started out as like a casual thing and now it's something you're intensely passionate about.
Yeah.
In terms of your pursuit of it. Are there other things like that? Is that part of your personality, or has this been unique to running?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of things, but like, I mean, coffee, for example. It's like, you start with, let me start drinking some coffee. And it's like, let me get a pour over. That'd be cool. Ooh, let me get like a gooseneck kettle. That'd be cool. Ooh, now it's like, let me get an espresso machine. And now I'm like, let me check what elevation my coffee beans were grown at.
Are you like Larmazoco at home guy?
I just honestly keep it simple. I had an espresso machine, but it was too automatic, which is
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's too automatic.
Yeah. I don't know what I need. Like, like pulling levers. Like
If you get into wine, you're gonna be stomping your own grapes over here.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I just kind of keep it, simple with like a pour over. But, but I mean, I haven't like, other things. I mean, there's a couple of things, but I kind of like dive into the nuance of things. But gear wise, I used to chase changing my gear all the time, and I'm kind of like, you know what, I'm good. I'm not getting another camera. I've found what works, and it's easy because like every year something new comes out, and there's certainly cameras that I want, but like try to just like pump the brakes a little bit and go.
That's one last question. We can wrap up here soon. Oh God, I didn't realize we were there. I'm curious, like, are you, in terms of gear with like lenses and stuff, you use Zeiss and all that, are you like prime guy? Are you, because you also use your little point and shoots for reception stuff, which is super fun.
Yeah.
And like, I think a pretty unique angle that from what I'm seeing out there, like that's something you do that I think is pretty unique and a really fun approach to reception capturing. Is there like do you have like a strong preference on those things outside of like what you found that works for you?
Yeah. So when I shot film, I had 3 cameras. So color, medium format. I had a black and white 35 millimeter, and I had a color 35 millimeter point and shoot.
Okay.
3 cameras. And so I haven't shot with a lens longer than a 50 in 10 years.
Wait.
I love this right now.
Wait.
I'm so excited.
Wait.
I haven't shot with a lens longer than a 50 in 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
'Cause
My
I'm-
mind is blown right now.
I'm primarily a 35-50 almost exclusively.
Yeah.
That's all I use.
Man, I carry 24, 35, 50, 85, 135.
That makes my body hurt.
What are you doing for ceremonies, bro? You just getting in there?
I mean, I've had all the lenses, right? I've had the 7200s. I had a 135 prime. It's like, and I
You
got
had a 135 Canon prime,
Yeah,
right? Which
that
is
Canon.
an incredible lens.
Yeah. I had that for a while. I had the 85 prime for a while. I don't know. I felt like I wasn't excited about any of the work that I was doing outside of these 2 focal lengths. Like I would have an 85 or 135 and it's like, well, I guess I got a little bit closer at the ceremony, but it's like, I don't know if I want to be like, right up in their face.
Really? What about dang it, dude, we're so over time. I love longer lenses because I can get candid photos a little better during like cocktail hour, dinner, reception stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
Because people just don't know you're there with it. With an 85 or longer.
Yeah.
But with a 50, people typically know you're there.
Yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, so basically my setup is 1 camera is a 50 that is color. 1 camera is a 35 that it's raw, but I shoot black and white preview. And I process almost all of those images from that camera as black and white. So I treat it like it's a black and white film camera. So I see all these moments with this camera as black and white. And then I have a little point and shoot that's basically just a crappy Lumix camera that I process square like a Holga. It's super crunchy. The camera's like $100. I have 2 of them.
But super fun stuff out of it.
But
We've talked about it before.
Super fun. Like
it's
some
really,
of my clients' favorite photos are like these photos from this little dinky camera.
When are you using that camera?
Just it's everything in between. It's like toast,
candid stuff.
type stuff. But I don't
That's
know.
it? Those are your lenses?
I have a 50, a 35, and then whatever's on this thing.
You don't know what that is? I don't know.
I think it's a 35. But yeah, I mean,
Holy
I don't know. I feel like
that just blew my mind.
I feel like
I love it.
I feel like I spend less time worrying about what lenses do I change.
I might try it out this weekend. I got a wedding. I'll try that out.
So I just
God, no,
And it's super fun. Like having gotten that Diamond Creek wedding that you were at, where like I've seen like you post stuff and like behind the scenes stuff of you shooting, never seen you shoot before. So like getting to watch you shoot was really fun because you did have that camera on your chest.
I remember that
And
photo.
occasionally he'll just watching him, you just see Austin occasionally like he'll be looking around and his other cameras are here and he'll just go bink.
Yeah.
And then it
What
just
is
comes
this
back
camera?
down
What
and
is
he
this?
keeps
It's
going.
a Lumix LX7.
Okay.
And
I'll
Lumix
look
makes,
it up.
and actually, which I learned this, shout out to Brennan McKissick. I learned Lumix and Panasonic all have Leica glass on it.
Oh,
I
really?
did not know that.
I did not know that either.
That's why I remember seeing early days
I'm going
of
to stop
shooting,
making fun of Panasonic.
early days shooting weddings. You see all these videographers with Lumix, and they were amazing cameras. And so this little camera has a Leica 1.4 on it, and it's like $100.
No way.
That's crazy.
And I bought 2 of them so I could give one to my sister.
I'm gonna go-
And it's like
I'm gonna
it's just
buy one when we
aperture
leave here.
priority, and it's just like it's super fun. But yeah, it doesn't instill confidence. If you just showed up to a wedding, it's like I paid you how much, and you're just like,
Oh, it's built in aperture priority.
no. But that's how I shoot it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, not manual on that one. That one's. But it's just like quick, like party pick.
Because you don't care if it's a little blurry.
No, I actually want it to be a little blurry. Yeah, and it's like low resolution. I mean, the files are. I don't even know how many megapixels. It's probably like 10 megapixels or 16 megapixels.
God, I'm so like
It's super
intrigued and
crunchy.
so frustrated right now in this conversation.
I've got a Lightroom preset that like basically makes it look exactly like a Holga. So it vignette and then blurs the vignette.
Yeah.
And then
Did you make that preset yourself?
I did, yeah.
That's nice. That's cool, dude.
and it's got a flash on it. So like look like reception,
Yeah, it's
it's
just
like
hard.
Point and
totally
shoot,
in your
yeah.
face.
Yep.
Like I mean that look I've seen a lot of
I
people.
want to have one here.
That's
by
back
Friday.
on trend.
Yeah.
And shout out to you because you were before the curve. You know what I'm saying? Hey, fist bump there, buddy. Nice,
just,
solid. But yeah, it is. That's like
Yeah. I just
Which is
like
nice 'cause you already have a
to
body
wrap
work
to
with.
wrap up the gear thing. Yeah, for me, I feel like I do my best work when I'm not worrying about changing lenses and changing cameras and what part of the day do I shoot this camera with. Like my whole setup, I don't take anything off. I don't change any lens.
Yeah.
It's there. I mean, I've got a moneymaker strap. It's 1, 2, 3. That's it all day.
You're using on-camera flash, but then are you doing any off-camera flash, or are you doing like constant lights?
No off-camera flash.
No off-camera
Yeah,
flash.
everything is natural light until the reception hits, and then it's party pics, and it's straight in your face flash. I'm not bouncing. I'm not doing anything.
You're not using any flash during like getting ready photos if it's bad lighting?
Nope.
You're just going for it.
Just going for it.
Really?
Just going for it.
Driving
You got to
me
find
crazy
the
right
gotta
now,
find
dude.
the
Driving
find the
me
light.
crazy.
Just gotta find.
I'm
light. You're
saying if
chasing
there's
light.
no good
You got to
light.
chase the light, man.
Oh my god.
Chase the light, bro.
Yeah, back to your long distance running.
chase that horizon.
Just chase the light. Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool. All right, well,
Is there anything else you need to say or want to say?
Yeah, is there anything else you wanna
here.
put out to the
Do you
world?
wanna-
No, this was super fun.
Yeah.
I've wanted to meet you guys
Yeah.
in the flesh for a while.
I've heard rumors that you wanted to meet us. So.
well, the next
Good to
time
confirm it.
we have Austin on, we'll talk about how I
Yeah,
ruined Mother's Day.
there's a whole other
oh my
story.
god, we never
Yeah.
even got to that.
I'm just gonna say, Mother's Day, pastries, disappointment.
Yeah,
That's the teaser.
really bad day for Austin.
Great
Yeah.
day for you.
Even worse day for my wife.
Which is why it was a really bad day for Austin.
Okay, so AustinGrow.com.
Yes,
S is silent.
GROS. The S is silent.
Man, I wish I
It's
could buy
French
that.
for
I should have
Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, I should have. My wife's maiden name. Can you still say maiden name? Is
I think so.
Is Montoya.
Ooh,
I totally should have taken that.
you absolutely
AustinMontoya.com.
dude,
way
you would've
cooler.
Killed.
Yeah.
Your
It's like
your
Austin-
SEO would have been.
Austin Gross, and
That
she's
is
a hair
awesome.
and makeup artist, so it's like
Which does she still? We can get. Oh my god,
We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta
Yeah,
go.
we can't.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I am
Okay,
curious.
so what about Instagram?
at Austin Grow.
Anywhere else?
On Instagram.
You get a lot of all the grandmothers find you on Facebook, probably.
Yeah. They find me through Craigslist. So
Well, here we are, full circle.
sneaky link Craigslist.
yeah, it's just AustinGrow.com and at Austin Grow on Instagram, and
Cool,
that's it.
dude. Thanks for being with us, bro.
Yeah,
It's
man.
been
Really
real fun.
appreciate
Enjoyed it.
coming out,
It's
man.
fun.
So,
awesome.
you want to do your thing?
Yeah,
No.
man. Hey, so that's another episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Join us next time. And you can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, and Instagram, and on occasion, podcasts. Take
Thanks.
care. Peace.